Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to be reviewing all of Mischief Movie Night In's July shows. Not all of them. What do you mean? No, you're back at work now, so you can go see all the shows. Wait, so you mean Yeah, you missed them. No! Hi guys and welcome back to my review of some of Mischief Movie Night In's July shows. I was very sad that I had to miss some. Yeah, I'm back at work now, which is exciting for me. Less exciting when you want to go to online theatre streams. You might also be like, Sophie, this is quite late into August to be doing this, and I would say yes, and short answer, I'm very lazy. Slightly longer answer, I'm quite busy and I don't sleep enough, so when I do have free time, I'm just really lazy with it. So I'm going to be doing this video like I did my February one, so it's going to be a run through of all the shows and then I'm going to do my top 3s at the end. I've once again got my trusty notebook. I've also got my computer because halfway through the run, well 3-4 shows into the run, I lost my notebook, so the rest of my notes are on here. Anyway, let's get into it. So we start off with Thursday the 1st of July with Over the Henge, which was a historical epic set in the Stone Age. There was body swaps, there was body swaps, a very weird throuple between a 27-year-old man who was an old guy, a 12-year-old and Harry Kershaw. There's the modesty bush as well, which I love that bush, that was absolutely hilarious. Oh, the modesty bush, also there was a coitus bush as well, there was a lot of weird bushes. And there was 2 men pretending to be a llama in it. It was a very weird film, and there was a lot of introductions of the Year of Stone. It was really good, but yeah, it focused on a princess in the Stone Age who liked metals and stuff like that and trying to deal with her parents, basically. Anyway, then on to Friday the 2nd. Next up we have Saturday the 3rd, the matinee show, which was Popes on the Ropes. It was a wrestling movie set in Texas between the popes and the vampires. There was so many Janines. I've wrote it down here. So we had backwards Janine, forwards Janine, and Janine again. There was some cracking songs in this. There was a wrestling montage, which was amazing. There was also featured in it was a really short war movie told in reverse, which was kind of confusing, but I loved it. And there was a mimed death, which was just delightful. It was, oh my goodness, it was really funny. It was great. I found the first few shows in this run a bit odd. I felt they were more chaotic than they were the last time round, but there was also like new cast members who I hadn't seen in the show before, so it was kind of odd for me getting used to them, but they were all amazing. I was just like, okay, who are these new people? Let's figure them out and what sort of characters they play, so it was really fun. But yeah, it was took me a few shows to kind of get really into them, and I was like, really loved them all by the end. It was awesome. Then we move on to the second show on that Saturday, which was Rumpole of the Motte and Bailey, which was a legal drama set in medieval times where we had a really horrible king and his mother, and they wanted to privatise the circus, and it was all about trying to get the circus back. There was an incredible heavy metal song in this film by a chicken, and it was all about trees. It was lovely. This was a very rude show though, because I have here there was smearing manure on someone's crotch, there was a lot of bum wiping, and there was the prince who breastfed as an adult, and that occurred a few times. It was just very crass, this show, and I really enjoyed that. On now to Sunday the 4th, and if we thought Saturday was crass, my god, Sunday was. We had Zoomania, which was an alien invasion in a zoo, and it was crass because there was an incredibly sexy rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb. I loved it, but my god. It was amazing. Oh my god. Oscar was very annoyed during this one, and I found that absolutely hilarious. There was... So we followed a tortoise whose wife had died years and years ago. He had a mate who was an elephant who would pick him up and swing him in his trunk. And then the aliens invaded and one of them impersonated a tortoise and they fell in love. Turned out at the end that the tortoise was also an alien. It was great. They tried to take over the world with a tortoise cannon though, It was great. But yeah, the main thing I've taken away from this film was the sexually aggressive lambs and the Mary Had a Lamb rendition, which began with Harry Kershaw singing, who immediately forgot the words. It was really funny. Yeah, that's all my notes in the notebooks, so time for the laptop. So next up we have Thursday the 8th of July, which was Singing in the Aisles, which was a musical set in Asda. This one had some great songs in it, but unfortunately, one of the most memorable things from this, I'm just going to say, if you don't know what purging is, you're incredibly lucky because there was a lot of it. I was a little bit disturbed. This was a brilliant musical. We had the personification of Asda, which was great fun. And also in the middle of this film, there was a short film, which was a brief biopic of Oscar's life, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was amazing. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, the whole thing ended up with them trying to destroy Asda, and it was great. Honestly, we need to see the personification of stores more in movies because it's absolutely hilarious. But there was some absolutely cracking songs in this one, and I had a lovely time. Anyway, then we move on to... So yeah, I missed most of the shows this week. I only got to see really Singing in the Aisles, and oh yeah, the midnight matinee! So on Saturday the 10th I got to go to see Angstronauts, which was a sort of wild teen movie, but it was so close with like which genre got picked. So it was a teen movie with musical elements in it, and there was a character who was a kind of Bronte-esque character. Oh my god, this show was incredible. So I was kind of thinking, like, in the original run, the shows were, you know, a bit chaotic, but the midnight one was just nuts. You could tell they were exhausted, it was very chaotic, and I loved it. So I was thinking, you know, the shows up to this point had been pretty darn chaotic, so I was like, midnight one's gonna be super chaotic. It actually, I think, made the most sense as a movie out of all of the shows. And oh my god, the songs were incredible. How they were able to make songs that good. There was a Hamilton-style rap in there. How they did this at midnight, I'm like in absolute awe of. My god, it was just incredible. I mean, it was so good. It was so good. So it was about like a high school that goes to space and they had to send a rocket to space, and then someone's dad hated them and then they had to save the dad, and then there was a girl who didn't know a real name because a guy kept calling her a different one, and she was just like, sure, I'll go with it because you're a guy and you like me, and it was just amazing. It was just such a feel-good film. It was so good. It was amazing! I have nothing but praise for it. Anyway, we then get to Sunday the 11th, and I wasn't going to be able to see this show because I was doing an overnight shift at work, which finished at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 12th of July, my birthday. However, the football was on, and they moved the show earlier so they could watch the final because it was England in it. So I still wasn't able to see the show. I was driving at that point, so I was a little bit annoyed. It's fine. So I also missed Thursday the 15th, but it's okay because I then got to see Friday the 16th. It's the first Friday show I actually got to go to. I was very excited about this. And it was Good Guys Finish Last. So yeah, Good Guys Finish Last was like a sort of superhero horror movie set on a cruise ship. And it was also an Emmy show, so we got Charlie Russell, which was awesome. I've not seen her do Emmy before, and she did an amazing job. She did really, really well. It was awesome. This film, yeah, it was great. There was like the retired older superhero on the shift. There was the two best friends who were also superheroes, and they met their idol, but then it turned out that the bad idea pandas, these were our villains, were a bunch of pandas who do bad ideas, sort of, you know, tried to take down the ship. They got two old women to do their evil bidding, set the place on fire. We learnt from the older superhero that to use their powers, you drain your friend and it eventually is going to kill him. It was a bit dark. And that's what eventually happened to our two young heroes because it was a horror movie. It was really sad because there was like some beautiful numbers in it. There was a lovely sort of dance song that was kind of romantic. I kind of got the vibe that the two teens were into each other, and I was here for it, but you know, one of them got really old and died at the end, and it was really sad. But it's okay, because my sadness was cured the next day, to Saturday the 17th, because I went to see Switch It Up, which I was in the Zoom audience for. Yay! That was awesome. So it was meant to be Charlie again doing Emmy, but don't know what happened, she couldn't do it. So I got to Nancy Zammit again as Emmy, which was awesome, because it was Nancy who was at the show that I went to in the Zoom audience before. And I think she does an awesome job as Emmy, but yeah. Switch It Up was bloody nuts. It was a time travel movie, musical, set in Ipswich. It was insane. There was one female member in the cast, so they had to bulk it out with some guys playing women. It was... it was amazing! Oh my gosh. It was about a couple. Samantha and, oh my god, I didn't write down the other character's name, but Samantha's the one we need to know, because Samantha gets killed by a printer, and then her girlfriend goes back in time to stop her dying by breaking up with her, and then Samantha becomes an evil leader, and Samantha has to die. There's no way out of it, so they can't save Samantha, but instead they end up in a timeline where Samantha's become an evil overlord and also still dies at the end. It's amazing, but my favourite character in this one was Simon, because Simon did terrible. Simon's like constantly screwed everything up. It was amazing. It was great. I feel like the cast had many breakdowns during the show. It was great, and this lovely, lovely, lovely song called Back in the Good Old Days in this one, in which Henry Shields sang the lovely line, you could smoke a pipe, you could beat your wife. I've never seen so much instant regret on somebody's face. It was amazing. This was just absolutely nuts, this show, honestly. It was amazing. I was pissing myself laughing. It was so good. Anyway, then we move on to Sunday. And I was kind of sad for Sunday because it was sequel Sunday. And I couldn't make the first show, but I was going to make the second one, and you know what they say, the sequel's always better. And then the sequel got cancelled! Train coming to highlight my pain. I've heard so many good things about this show though. I heard there was like a human ladybug. There was a relationship argument between a father and a daughter over who had the best relationship. There was some guy from the Happy Mondays, not the actual guy, but someone playing him in it. I was so excited to see the sequel for this. I was like, screw it if I missed the first one, I'll know what it is, and I got home from work and I saw that it had been cancelled. So yeah, somebody got COVID. I don't think it was one of the cast, I think it was maybe a crew member or something, but they all had to self-isolate immediately. However, because of this, and because so much of the cast was isolating, we got what I would say is maybe one of just the best weeks as a whole, purely because they were doing it under such rough circumstances. They pulled in new cast, and they had like 6 of them for this whole week, and they did an amazing job. On each show during this week though, they had one of the guys who was self-isolating come on the Zoom panel, and then they would get a character and they had to go around their house and get costumes and be this character. And it was awesome. They did a brilliant job with it. Yeah, they were doing it under really tough circumstances, and these are, just as a whole week, it's my favourite week as a whole, this series of shows. And I was also lucky enough to see all of the shows this week! Yay! So we start first on Thursday the 22nd of July with Back to the Tutor, which was a school reunion movie. And it included the wonderful Dave Hearn as James Bond. Yes, that James Bond, the spy. Why did I do that? Well, we didn't know if he was the James Bond to start with, but he was the James Bond. It was brilliant! Oh my goodness! So yeah, we had all of these characters arriving back for their school reunion. You had the character who was in love with somebody else, but you know, they never kind of told them, and that was the character who was dating James Bond. It was so good. We had this group of really weird teachers. There was like the bitchy girl from the school who was living in the school, hadn't done really well for herself, and you know, tried to ruin this girl's life. And then, you know, the two guys who'd been in love with each other since school got together. Everyone was okay with it. James Bond went and did James Bond stuff. Oh my goodness, it was amazing, and it ended with like a disco number and they were all just dancing. It was cracking. Oh my god, it was so much fun. And on this show we had Henry Lewis coming in on the Zoom to play the dead grandfather who the grandmother eventually died and ascended to heaven with. It was very strange. I loved it though. We move on to Friday the 23rd of July with Pier Today, Gone Tomorrow. So this was a heist movie set in Southend Pier, and it was, oh my god, it was so funny because one of the things I really loved this week is that normally the cast are very male heavy. This week it was a very female heavy cast, and immediately the men started playing women. It was amazing. But yeah, so we had a very sort of cockney-ish sort of show. They were trying to rob this lighthouse. And you know, you had the people coming in who tried to get out of the crime business and they got back into it, and then there was like the crime family and there was two rival groups. And it featured one of the guards at the lighthouse. It was played by the wonderful Harry Kershaw, playing like a crazy guy giving riddles. The riddle was like, is one shoe too few or something like that. It was amazing, it was nonsense. I love it. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. It was a really good show. But we move on to the first of our shows from Saturday the 24th, which was The Man Who Came In From Cold Storage, which was a spy movie. It was amazing. It was amazing. And it featured an actual kiss in this show, which was hilarious because Oscar went mental afterwards and like, you can't kiss, it's a pandemic. And it was, oh my god, it was so funny. It was like the most hilarious thing ever. But yeah, we had our spy who was pregnant and was thinking of retiring, and then there was this sort of villain who'd come out of the woodworks and had killed so many of the other spies. And oh my god, the spy's catchphrase was it was the most macabre thing is a kiss from macabre, because the spy's name was Macabre, hence why there was kissing in the show. But yeah, so it was amazing. There was, yeah, a bunch of really weird spies, everyone else was dead. Eventually, like, they take down the villains, and it ended with our lovely spy going off and having her little family and being like, you know, you can be a family person, but I choose to, you can do it all. Which is like a lovely little message, but that one was, oh, it was really funny. So with this show as well, we had Susan Harrison, who was on the Zoom for this one, and she played Mother Threes, I believe it was, who was like the assassin. Oh my goodness. The show had so much great like use of the green screen. There was a parachuting scene and it was amazing. Our second show on the Saturday, Fielding of Dreams. It was a fantasy film set in a farm. Oh my god. This was hilarious. Basically on the Zoom panel was just loads of people from the Fielding family. And it was really funny. So yeah, it was like a birthday party or something and they'd all come on from all over the place. It was really funny, hence why the name was Fielding of Dreams. But yeah, this one was lovely. We had like a little sort of siblings living on this farm, having a nice time. One of them really wanted adventure, and then it ends up that there's these like mermaids who've like got cursed, and one of them gets taken into the pool and the pond, and the other's got to go and rescue them. And it turns out that the evil mermaids are actually one of them's parents, and it's, oh my goodness, it's so funny. And on this one we had Niall Ransom on the Zoom, and he came in as the Mermaid Queen. It was really, really funny. So Fielding of Dreams though, it opened with this song called Happy Here, and it was such a lovely song. It was like someone had written it properly. You wouldn't have thought this one was improvised. It was so beautiful. I loved it. It was absolutely lovely, but you know, it had a lovely happy ending and everyone all came back to the farm and everyone was all friends. It was just lovely. It was just such a wholesome little show. I loved it. Oh my goodness. And then the final show of this week though, on Sunday the 25th of July. I don't know why I'm singing this. We had Fire in the Hole. So Fire in the Hole, if you can't tell, is about fire. It was a 70s disaster movie set in a fire station. Oh my god, this was hilarious. There was the weirdest song ever in it, which included quite prominently the lyrics, "Slide down my greasy pole." So yeah, in this film we had our sort of Prime Minister guy who was closing down all of the fire stations so he could build this big power plant and have more money for it and stuff like that. And he was being helped by our main character's sister, who's the main character this is, was running this final fire station to stay open, and they eventually get closed down, and then there's the massive fire and there's no fire stations, and they all have to like work together to put out the fire, and they all sort of team up. The sister kind of comes over and is good, and it's cracking. But this one had, I think, the best Zoom cameo from the wonderful Nancy Samet, who was the sister's mother. She came on as the mother in a ridiculous outfit. It was so funny. No, it was absolutely brilliant, but my god, this was such a good week. Like, they were doing it under such weird circumstances and they all did an amazing job. And just a week as a whole, it's probably my favourite. It just was amazing. Oh, they did such a great job. But we then move on to our final week, and I got to see 4 shows this week, but only on 2 of the days. So I booked the day specifically off from work so that I could go to the show on the 31st of July. Because it was a trilogy! Woo! It was amazing! Oh my god! I kind of want to talk about these. I'm gonna like talk about these as a whole because the 3 of them were amazing. So we had a Shocalypse Now, a Shopalypse Next, and a Shinalypse Then. So it was apocalypse with shop in it because it was set in a shop. A Shopalypse. If you can pronounce it, you're doing better than me. It was so good. On the first show I was in the Zoom panel, which was amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh my god, this show was so cool. So it was set in the apocalypse, and we followed our 2 main characters who were in this shop, and then we had all of our extras. So we had Harry Kershaw and Dave Hearn played these 2 guys who were travelling together, and they were in a relationship and they were hilarious, and their quest was to sing happy birthday to someone. And then you had the mother and the father of the girl who was in the shop with her mate, and they were trying to find her. Oh my god, so the father though was a Colonel Garfield, and then it suddenly turns out it was Andrew Garfield, the actor. It was amazing. The mum ended up having a relationship very briefly with the friend, who then went with the friend who he was in the shops with, and it was just a bit weird. And then there was, oh my goodness, with Dave Hearn and Harry Kershaw. Harry Kershaw's character had a peacock penis, so someone just kept bobbing up an umbrella between his legs. It was amazing. And then Henry Shield played Mutant X, who was our big villain, so it was the mutant apocalypse. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. And Mutant X turned out to be, oh my goodness, who was he again? I don't have it written down, this is tragic. He was a rugby player, I think. I'm not quite sure, he was some sports. I don't watch sports and I didn't write it down, so I don't know. Oh no! But yeah, so Mutant X was like a retired sports person. But it was insane. It was so weird. So you had the first one, they were all trying to fight off this apocalypse and they all find each other and that's all fine. And then the second one, it turns out one of them who'd been captured by Mutant X had actually been turned into a mutant. Then they find the cure for the disease and they manage to cure everyone and it's great, but they're all like the only people left in the apocalypse. So in the third one, they go back and try and stop the apocalypse from even happening, and then they get to the future and it's all fine again and they all meet up and it's lovely. It was a cracking day. Oh my god, it was just so much fun. I laughed so much. It was brilliant. But then we move on to August, the Sunday, the 1st of August, where we had our final show, which was the day Harry got cut in half. and it was about a school putting on a magic show, and this was just really wholesome. It was really sweet. So it was like a couple of kids at school. There's also some Scottish accents in here, which was really fun. I liked any of the Scottish accents through the show because I'm a Scot who doesn't have a Scottish accent, so it was just lovely to hear what my accent should be like. Then we move on to August, the Sunday, the 1st of August, where we had our final show, which was the day Harry got cut in half, and it was about a school putting on a magic show, and this was just really wholesome. It was really sweet. So it was like a couple of kids at school. There's also some Scottish accents in here, which was really fun. I liked any of the Scottish accents through the show because I'm a Scot who doesn't have a Scottish accent, so it was just lovely to hear what my accent should be like. So yeah, we had our 2 kids, and their teacher did magic and stuff like that, and they wanted to be magicians, and they found this jar that got them sort of magic powers, and they could get wishes and stuff like that, and they had to put on this magic show. Turned out there was a magic show many years ago where it all gone wrong, and the teacher, her magic had gone wrong, and she'd accidentally gotten rid of half of her family. It's a little bit dark, yeah, and then they cursed their head teacher to become a pickle, which was important because in this show, the final show, we got an Oscar cameo. So Jonathan came on as a priest who had to cure the teacher of being a pickle and bring her back, and he had this brilliant song, and it was great. He did a brilliant job with it. It was a really good song. I loved that bit. It was honestly amazing. But yeah, so the teens, like, magic was going to be banned, they had to put on this great show, and they put on this great show, and they brought the teacher's family back, and it was lovely. It was just like such a feel-good end to the run. But yeah, it was a fantastic run of shows, just as a whole, and I'm really gutted though, because for the first time they had an actual live audience in it. It started with a quite small audience, and then they managed to get a full house in towards the end of the run, and I really was hoping that I would be able to travel down and see it, but I didn't, and I'm very, very sad, but it's okay. Now we move on to the important thing, my top 3s. So I'm going to start with my top 3 moments. So for my top 3 moments, coming in at number 3 was Oscar's cameo. I mean, it's always going to be my top moments. It's great when you get Oscar on it. It's really good. At number 2 was all of the Zoom cameos during the COVID week. But yeah, they all did such an amazing job, and they were all really, really fun, and it was cracking. But my top moment, it has to be the Oscar biopic short film. It was amazing. It was so funny. It was brilliant. There's so many other good moments, but those are the ones that really stand out for me. So for my top 3 songs, it's sort of a top 4 because I have a joint first place because I really couldn't choose. But in third we had Happy Here from Fielding of Dreams. It was just such a well put together song, and it was just delightful. I just watched it and I smiled. It was lovely. In at number 2 we have the rowing club, cheerleading club song, which was like She's Alright, yeah, because it was insane. It was like a struggle to get through the song, and it was hilarious. That was from Ipswich It Up, by the way. But yeah, it was so funny, and it featured Niall Ransom and Dave Hurd absolutely breaking down at the end of it. It was hilarious. But my number 1 song, though, which is It's a Toss-Up, I couldn't choose between these guys because they were so good. We have The Pressure Is Mounting from Angstronauts, which was the Hamilton-style rap. It was just so good. There's no other way. It was great. It was great. Served the story really well, and it had a good narrative to it and good beats, and it was similar to Happy Here. It was just a really well put together song. It was amazing. My other joint favourite is from Zoomania, and it's got to be the sexy rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb. I don't think I need to explain that one. It was hilarious. It was so good! Oh, but now is the really, really, really hard part! Oh my god! My top 3 shows. Oh my gosh. Once again, I thought all of the shows were amazing. But I have to pick my favourite 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going with what I've got written down. I'm going with it. So at number 3 is Zoomania. Zoomania, oh my goodness. It was so funny, and it's mostly probably down to the Mary Had a Little Lamb rendition. It was just... I died. It was so funny. The show as a whole was hilarious, and it was great fun. In second, I'm going with Ipswich Up, partially because I was on the Zoom audience, but it was just a really fun show. It was just chaotic and so much fun, honestly. It was just... I love a bit of time travel. The songs were great, it was really funny. I think you can probably tell though which came in at my number 1, and I'm going to count them all as one show, and if you haven't got it from that, then what? It was the the Shop Apocalypse trilogy. It was so good. Oh my goodness, they need to do more trilogies because, oh, it was so funny. It was amazing. That was genuinely such a fun day I had watching those shows. It was great. I'm so glad I got the day off work for that. Oh, once again though, Mischief have been totally amazing. So good. I'm really gutted though at the moment because they're doing like a little tour with Mischief Movie Night In, but it's all dates down in England, so it's a bit far for me. I'm kind of sad because I can't get to go to them, but you know, I got to see most of the ones from July, so I'll take it. But yeah, I'm so happy they did a few more shows because, like I said in my first few videos, I love these shows. They did such an amazing job with them. They're so funny. If they ever do more and you get the chance to go and see them, please do. They're just so much fun. I'm also really excited because they've got all their other shows on tour, so they've got Magic Goes Wrong, Grown Ups and The Play That Goes Wrong. So I'm really hoping that I'm able to get down. I think the closest they're coming to me is Glasgow and Edinburgh, so I'm hoping I can go and see a few of them. If not, I'll just have to plan a trip to London and have a big theatre day, which would be awesome. But yeah, sorry there's no Miko. It's nice weather today, so he's taking the chance to go outside. Last I saw him, he was fast asleep in the garden. Anyway, till next time, thank you guys for watching.